Hello guys, welcome back to 14 Eta Hub. My name is Victor Francis and I'm a software developer. In this video tutorial, I'm going to be walking you through the Ozi Script folder structure, and this is a continuation of the previous video. So if you have not watched the previous video, you should go and watch it, which is the Ozi Script installation. So you should go and watch it and come back to this video. Alright, so Ozi Script folder structure. Before we can do that, just navigate to your app directory, which is the one we installed in the previous video. So this is it. I'm already in the project directory, so I'm going to list it here, and you can see we have the asset, the core, and the offline, and the rest of the pages. So I'm going to just go into VS Code so we can explain better. Alright, so here we have the folder structure for Ozi Script. And the first thing you should take note of is the asset, which is actually the first on the list. The asset is where everything is, like everything media, your your images, photos, your audio, PDF, anything media. This is where you're going to put it. So under media, we have images, icons, and the rest. So you can create more folders under the media. All right. And the style, you don't have to worry about the style. It's default, so you don't have to worry about it. But yeah, that's where the style is. But you don't have to worry about it for now. And next is the component. Say the component as the pages of the website, or let's say the screen of the app you're building. Thus, this component has all the pages that you're going to build, all of them. This is where it's going to be stored. Okay, so this is the index, and the index is the first screen, which is this one that was shown to you. It says edit the index, so the index is the index is talking about. So this is it. So you're going to edit it and put in whatever you want to put here and start coding your UI, which is your project interface, user interface. All right, so I'll walk you through on this component more later on. And also this is the core, where we have the back end logic, which you may not be doing anything about it right now, but we'll talk about it in our next video. So this is the core, where all the files for the back end structure, the back end logic, the login, everything, this is where it's going to be stored. That is in the core, and that's in the cores. And the screens are the page routing, just like I explained earlier. I said this is the component and it has the pages. So the component is also linked to the screen, because when you navigate your routing, this is what it shows your users that they are viewing. It shows them that they are viewing homepage, but since this is the default page, it's not going to show them homepage. But if they are viewing the, let's say, about, contact, profile, or dashboard, is going to show the name that is here, which is the stream, the name here, which can be the about, or profile, contact, and the rest of the pages you want to build. All right, so that is what the script does. It stores the routing, and what's inside it is just a command, just a method to call the component, which is the one we'll be talking about earlier. The component under the view, we'll be talking about it later. And next is the system files, which this place is very technical. You don't really want to mess around here. The only thing you are interested in here is your database, and also maybe your JSD and your CSS, which by default we have Bootstrap here, and Bootstrap and HTML5 configuration, so you don't have to worry about using or installing Bootstrap. As long as you install Ozi Script, you're using the latest version of Bootstrap. according to the Ozi Script version, which is the 0.5 version right now. You're using Ozi Script. You're using Bootstrap version 5. All right. So, but if you don't want to use Bootstrap, probably you want to use any framework of your choice. So you can come here and edit it, and then replace it with whatever directory where your framework is, which is the Bootstrap or Tailwind or whatever you want to use. This is where you're going to put it. Whatever dependency you want to use, this is where you're going to put it. That is the JavaScript, and also the same with the CSS. This is where you're going to put it. And for the ISO media, this is just the configuration for ISM for iPhone and Apple device, so that it will be more um, appealing on Apple device, which is the application will be more appealing on Apple device. So this is where you can also change it. Your Apple icon, this is where you include it. If you wanted to use the same thing as the one on the home page, which is the one you're using for your Android device and the rest, you can just allow it to be, just ensure it uses the same name, or you can rename it to whatever name you have. As you can see, the directory is assets, media, images, and icons. So we have favicon and Apple Touch. So you ensure you have all these images. All right, and this site's web, these things are already in the assets, so you don't have to worry about them. All you just need to do is to replace the images with your own images. Okay, just replace the images with your own images, and this was generated by a software. So I'm going to show you the software at the end. It's called favicon generator, so it's going to come with everything. Right, so you just copy it and paste it here, but based on the version they are using right now, so it might not be exact, but you understand, you can replace the images and rename it. All right, so that is it, and that's what is in the system directory. And also for this Ozi command, you don't want to mess with it. This is where all the command prompt is, or the command that you're going to do in Ozi Script. This is where it's been initiated. So don't touch or edit this, or don't even delete it, just leave it as it is. All right, and also what else? Okay, the router, this is also the page that this is also the script that handles the routing. If you don't want to touch it, just leave it as it is. And I guess that's all for system file. Okay, the libraries, you have library. Okay, so in this library, that's where you have your plugins and your widgets. For now, we don't have plugin or widgets installed, so it's empty. That's why it's saying it, that is empty. All right, but as we're building our to-do list app, we are going to install some plugin and some widgets, so you'll see how it goes. All right, so moving forward, we have the .ht assets file. This is common in every web application. It is required for you to ensure your server is configured to the best fit, especially you're using PHP. So don't touch this, edit it if you know what you're doing. But if you don't, just leave it as it is. What it currently does is to ensure that your site has secured SSL, and it has the supported file size for uploads and the rest. All right, so you can go through it and edit it if you know what you're doing, but if you don't, just let it be. Don't delete it. All right, so the next is your call BK request. So that call BK request is call backend request. It means you're going to execute a backend request, like fetching data from database, adding, deleting, and the rest. You know what you do with database. That's what this call BK request is going to do. But you're not creating it here. This is where you're going to call it. So let's say you have the function, you have built it, and it's existing, or probably you downloaded or installed an existing backend request or backend logic that has already been existing in our GitHub directory repository, and you installed it. So it doesn't just activate automatically, so you have to be the one to call it for it to activate. All right, and then you link it to the page that want to use it or the file that want to use it. we'll walk you through that later. And next is this composer. This composer is basically the configuration of your Ozi script. Like it's the instructions for building it. Like maybe you want to turn it to APK, Android, iOS, desktop. This is where it's going to get information from to do that. And this is not really important right now, so we can just delete it. Same as the lock, we won't be needing it right now. So deleting it because it will automatically create once we are even building the application. Once we are deploying it, it will automatically create those composer files. And the index, this is the entry point of your application. So don't touch this. This is also linking to another system config, which is down below. So I will talk about that. And the main.js is also the configuration for deploying your application to desktop and all desktop operating system like Windows and Mac or Linux. But for now, I don't need it, so I'm still going to take it out. All right, is it out? Okay, delete. All right. So the next is the manifest. So this manifest is very important. This is where your this is where the builder gets the information, which is um the package builder for iOS, Android, and the rest OS you want to deploy into. This is where it gets the information from. So the name of the application, Ozi Script, which you're going to change to the name of your app, which for us here is going to be to-do list. So I say to-do app. All right, and it's a standalone, so it doesn't, and the rest. Okay, this is the theme color, like the theme, which is the safe area. If you've used Flutter, you know the safe area, the color that you want it to be, or should I say the footer? Yes, the footer and the header, the color you want them to be. That is the theme color. Put it there, and the background for the loading, like when the app is loading, what's the color of the background? It's basically white. You can leave it, so but if you can change it if you want, if you already have a branding pattern that you're working with. And this is the image, which is the icon logo which you want to use for Android. This is the name, like I said before, it's in here, it should be in here. Once you install the script, this is it, but it's coming with our own image which you have to replace with your image. All right, so you leave it the way it is, and also here replace with your own image. All right, and like I showed you before for the iOS, this is also the same thing for the iOS, so you can replace this image or leave it as it is for iOS. All right. And lastly, we are going to be talking about the xw.js, which is the service worker. This is what makes your application a progressive web app, meaning it can be installed on a mobile phone, and it can have some app-like functionality, like some native app-like functionality, which is like working offline, and also it accepts push notification, and so many things you can do with native app. So you can do it. This is what allows you to do it, and this is where you run your configuration and set it up. All right, so we won't be going much details about this. And the next is the system config, which is where all the configuration for Ozi script is. You don't touch it, just let it be. And lastly, the UI. Last but not the least, UI, which is where we have the system structured. All right, so this is basically for web version and also for Android, but it comes with some default features, that some default content that you need to change, like this. Also the theme color, like I explained before, you have to change it to your brand color. The name, which will be displayed when you are searching it on Google search engine, this is the name, and also this is the keyword that you want it to be shown. You can handle, I know you understand what this does because she's been doing web development. So this video is not for a novice beginner. It is for those that have been working with web development. So I believe you understand what this does. So just edit them and have it work the way you want it. And so this is where we connected the manifest file we have over here. So just leave this as it is. All right, and this is the css dependency, and also this is our app entry point, and it handles the screen router. All right, so and this is the javascript dependency. So that is it, and we are not touching this UI config. And for the view, this is the very most important in all of this, because this is where your app screen is going to be created, which is your app pages are going to be created. For now, we already have homepage, which I showed you earlier here on the screen and said homepage. We have it here. So we have homepage, and we don't have to type this from the beginning. Like if I need about page now, I have to do something like this: copy and hit, and then change this to about. All right, change this to about. Okay, change this to about, and here also you change it to about, and you're good to go. You save, and you've created your about screen. So you can now navigate to this about screen, but it's not yet here. So you have to also come here and create it and call it about. And just like we have here, just copy it and paste it, change it to about, and change it to about, and you have your about screen configured. And next is your component, which is also the about. This is where the main content is. So this is where you're going to create it .php. So and that is it. You've created your about route. So now we can navigate to it by, let's say this is the about screen. So we already have the about. So the link, there is a better way for linking here, but we have not installed it. Is a widget, so we have not installed it yet. So let's remove it and use the basic link directory. So we're going to do this x, which is the screen, is equal to about, and we save it. And when I click on the about, it goes to the about, but currently it's empty. So let's just put something in there, and let's say h3 home sweet home h3. Okay, so all right, so we have our home screen ready, and also we can have a navigation that takes us back to the home page. Okay, so a which is equal to home, and so x is equals to home page. So you can do this, which is same as this home page here, or you can just allow it to be blank. But just do this because if you're navigating to profile or the rest of the page, this is how you're going to do it. So but since you're navigating to the home page, you can just put a dot and it settles it. All right, so let's see. And so back to the home page. So now we can navigate back and font All right. So, but if you notice the whole process of creating the screen and the components and the view file here, you notice it's a bit tedious. So this is how you do it manually. In case if you don't like using CLI, you don't like using command line, you don't want anything to do with command line, which it is highly recommended you do because it will save you a lot of time. Okay, so we take this off and we are going to do it using command line, and you will notice that it's going to do everything for us automatically. We don't have to do it manually. So I'm deleting the screen I just created right now. So if we check, you notice it's no longer available. It says 404. All right, so let's all right, so let's go through the automatic way, which is the CLI format. It is very easy to do. So all you need to do is to navigate to the project directory which you're already on. If you follow this method I just showed you right now, all you need to do is to PHP. That's when you want to create a screen. You just do PHP Ozi screen. That's what you want to do. You want to create a screen. If it's plugin, you do plugin. PHP Ozi. If it's widget, you do widget. So you are doing PHP Ozi screen. What's the name of the screen we want to create? About and what to create. So that's it, and then you hit enter, and it says it already exists. Why? Because we have it here. Okay, oh, I didn't save it. All right, so let's do it again. Okay, so create and pop to create, and that's the about. Notice it created it for us automatically, and we have the about screen automatically, and we have the about component automatically. All right, so that is how you use it, and that's how you create it. Now let's create another page. Okay, now we've created about, so let's create let's say contact, and hit enter, and you have contact page created. If you come to the view, you notice you have contact, and if you come to the screen, you notice you have contact, and you also go to the component, which is the main file that you're going to edit. You also notice you have contact. So, and that is it, and that is how easy it is to create screens, and also that's how easy it's going to be to create plugins and create widgets. All right, so this comp file is also very important. It's like additional files that is needed for about, contact, or for index. So this is where you can actually put those files here. Let's say you want header to be, you want all of them to have the same header. You can have it here instead of putting it in each of the files and having to edit it page by page. Just put the header.php here and include it in all these files, and then you can come here and edit it, and it will reflect on all the files instead of having to do it page by page. So that is what this component file is for you to put a required files for each component that will be reusable across your pages. All right, so that is it for this video. It's already getting too long, more than I've expected. And if you have watched to us to this level and you've still not subscribed to our channel, please ensure to click the subscription bell and like this page. So thank you for watching, and in our next video we're going to get our hands right on. We're going to start building this to-do app using all the functionalities I've shown you, and you're also going to learn more. All right, thank you, and see you in my next video.
Yeah, 9宫格上。